Hello, this is Ani and welcome once again to the weekly market outlook starting with October 13th, 2014. This is Ani Day Trades on StockTwits and Twitter, and you can find me on daytradingwithani.com on my blog. And we are looking at the Dow Jones Industrial Average Daily Chart one more time, where it came off a very volatile week last week, and we're looking ahead of a possibility of testing that volatility one more time. That means that we could be moving up to this 50% marker one more time, moving past this, and if we stay above it, then there's the possibility also of recovering back up to here to the 17,000 level. Now, if we do lose this very important support line right here, then of course I'd be looking below to about the 16,359, and below that one more time down to the 16,000 area, which maybe 16,100, 16,050, and all the way down to the 16,000. It is very possible, and that would possibly complete this very shallow pattern right there. If I look further out, and the reason I want to point out the significance of this trend line right here is because that is really the monthly trend line of the 20-year, and that is right here, starting here, and we have now tested it right there. And below that, if you're going to close in on this as to the possibilities below that on the monthly, then we have to look further down to roughly this area, to the 15,736, which would be back down to near this trend channel right here, which has been followed all along for quite a while. So that is being significant, of course, and that's right this line down below, and that is being significant because of where we might be ending up on a possible pullback and correction in the longer term. Right now, this is more important to look at, and then below that, this area right there, and see how the markets react to anything that is trying to recover here. And it could be very rapid, it could be very volatile, just like we have it so far. Looking at the SPX, pretty much the same story. And what I like to point out on the SPX is this one more time. This is the same idea as we were looking at the Dow Jones, but this being also a strong support line right here at the 1899, 1900 area, from where we could be bouncing back up and one more time testing this area at the 1953. But we do need to break up above here and hold in order to have that possibility of moving back up and higher. And this shallowness right here is what's going to give me further pause, because that's going to, as it moves along, that's going to be the resistance lines up ahead. On the downside, if this does give in, then we are going to be looking one more time at the 1875, 1850 area, and of course the possibility of it dropping further below down to this level around the 1813. Now, if I look at also at the monthly chart for the SPX, and that's strictly because we moved out of this area, I would like to point out a similarity on one of these patterns, and that is looking back here to this scenario right there, where we had a strong move up and a couple of days of pullback. These are not days, these are months, couple of months of pullback, and then further downside of a test. And this, since we have not had pretty much the same pattern before, we can look at this as a possibility of beginning something like that. But notice that there's been volatility here, and certainly there's this looking forward to a support base right here. If I measure this drop, it's about 274 or 70 points, which would bring it down to roughly this area right in this region at the 1730. So keep that in mind, and if that happens, of course, looking at the long-term scheme of things, it's really not as bad as many might take it for, because it's moving. It is just basically a test of the markets, so it allows it to start moving back up again from it, as we never have a straight line such as this. This is really very strong straight up. Even if you're looking at this move up right here, it's not as steep, as we've had this steep climb going on for quite a while. Okay, and looking at the NASDAQ, it's basically, would like to point out pretty much the same scenario. If I move over to the NASDAQ, and that's on the daily, we need to find supports here, and support line down below is roughly at the 38.48. Now if it starts breaking, moving back up, then we need to reach above this line right here, which is about the 4,000 one more time to move through, and then test these top lines once again. So we are talking really strong supports that we want to hold on to. If we don't, I do think we'd have that possibility of moving all the way down to the 37.50, and that's looking at the longer term of it. One more time at the monthly, you can see that this is going to be much more challenging, in my opinion. Looking at a back pattern right here, this could be also signaling a turnaround. This could also give us more of a fluctuation going into towards the end of this year into next year. Okay, that's basically just an outlook, and further than this week, obviously, but wanted to point those out to you, so you can look towards the end of the year with positive notes, actually, rather than just negative. None of this is really that negative, in my opinion. Okay, trade it well and carefully as always, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Good luck.